Good morning, everyone. It is 10 a.m. and this meeting of the Agricultural Labor Relations Board is now called to order.
It's echoing. Somebody's got their mic on.
Oh.
Does somebody have the Zoom up or whatever?
Come on in. Hello.
Hi.
I don't know if we're able to control the echo.
Hi, Genevieve. Good to see you.
All right. From the staff, are you able to share? Is the echo still going on?
No, it's fine. I can hear nice clear.
Okay. All right. Okay. First, I will go through the roll. Board Member Broad.
Present.
Board Member Lightstone.
Present.
We have a quorum. Next, I will ask for approval of the most recent meeting minutes from June 10th. May I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. The minutes have been approved. For our chair's report, I do not have much here other than to note we did receive news that Member Hall has taken on a new role and has departed the board. He let us know last week and just wanted to share that. So he is no longer serving with us. We wish him well and we'll miss him and thank him so much for his service. And with that, that concludes the chair's report. We do not have an executive officer's report today or litigation report. So I will go to our general counsel's report with Julie Montgomery.
Good morning, everyone. Just a brief report. I have one settlement to announce and then a few outreach highlights. We have a settlement out of Santa Barbara County that involves a strawberry harvester who filed a charge in late April 2025 alleging that J&G Farms retaliated against them by refusing to rehire them for engaging in protected concerted activity when the worker participated in a work stoppage, obviously together with others, and also in the investigation of unfair labor practice charges filed on behalf of workers who participated in that same stoppage, and also alleged that they were being retaliated against because of their affiliation with the nonprofit organization MyCall. The parties reached a settlement with the ALRB in which the company offered charging party reinstatement and agreed to pay all of the back pay owed, which was $1,600, which included the interest as well. And then of course we got the usual standard notice remedies. So kudos to our Region 1 staff and Santa Maria office for achieving that settlement in a fairly timely fashion. And then for outreach, our staff's been busy as usual, a lot going on in the summer, of course, and a lot of agricultural work happening. In Sonoma County, our staff appeared on a radio interview with KBBF Radio Líderes del Futuro. And that is a program that we do appear regularly on to inform workers of their rights and issues that they may be facing at work and how, giving them examples of how they can assert those rights and how they're protected under the ALRA. We also have staff interviewed on Radio Indígena show, El Campesino y sus Derechos, which is in Oxnard, which was out of Oxnard in Ventura County area. We had staff tabling and showing up at food distributions to do outreach in various parts of the state, including Santa Maria. There was a Coachella Valley Food Clinic in Mecca in Riverside County that they were at. They were also at an event in Kings County at a food distribution. And there was a one-stop clinic through our RSET program hosted by the nonprofit CBDIO in Castroville, which is in Monterey County. And they also were at a food distribution in the city of Piru in Ventura County. They provided an in-person training to UFW Foundation staff, youth volunteers, and farm workers which was hosted by the UFW Foundation in the city of Salinas. Staff provided a worker training also for workers. It was looks like a UFW Foundation, sorry, workshop in Coachella, and did a training for workers at the UFW in their general meeting in Bakersfield in Kern County as well, just on rights and obligations under the ALRA for workers and employers and unions. And there's a few other events here. There was also a one-stop clinic hosted by Líderes Campesinas over the weekend in Yolo County that our staff was at. And then they were at a workers' rights workshop that MyCop put on in Guadalupe in Santa Barbara County. So lots of activity going on. Staff are out there doing the good work, informing people about their rights under the ALRA and just trying to work the cases as expeditiously as possible to get remedies to farm workers. So just want to thank everyone for all their hard work. And and I think that concludes my report unless there's any questions.
Great, thank you. I appreciate it and thank the staff.
Thank you.
We do not have a legislation report. Okay, I'm getting word that the audio is not great. I'm gonna ask our staff. I'm gonna pause 1 second before we go to our next agenda item to see. Okay. All right, getting reports that it should be okay. Okay, all right. Going on. Okay. Receiving several messages from other staff, so it may be just with one individual. All right. With that, we will go on to public comment. A note, members of the public who wish to make public comment may let us know in advance by email. You can also do so either on Zoom, and it looks like we do have some folks in the room who wish to make public comment. So please note that while folks are making public comment, please do not speak, or please have your device, if you're on Zoom, on mute, just so we can try our best to manage the audio. Additionally, please note that we cannot discuss any pending case matters before the board, or respond to any questions about case matters. And with that, I will first go to, I think, folks here in the room, and I apologize, we don't have the most optimal setup. So this camera does move. I think that's probably a little too far out of shot. So I will ask if any folks here in the room wish to make public comment.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Telework flexibility equals productivity. Good morning. My name is David Sandoval. I'm an attorney 3 employed by the Agricultural Labor Relations Board. I rise to urge your support in maintaining our telework flexibility of at least 3 telework days a week. On March 3rd, 2025, Governor Brown blatantly bypassed the unions and signed Executive Order N-22-25, mandating a default of 4 days in office for state workers. Of importance, paragraph 2 of the executive order gives agencies discretion to grant exceptions based on their operational needs and applicable MOUs. Our operational needs remain the same today as they did in March 1st, 2025, and will remain the same 1 week from now on July 1st, 2026. For the past 6 years, the ALRB has thrived under a 3-day telework schedule. Such telework flexibility has helped retain and hire staff to staff rural offices, has boosted staff morale, has increased productivity, and has even helped public engagement through increased outreach efforts. The data supports the success of our telework policy. The latest annual report, publicly available on the ALRB's website, shows UOPs filed during the 2023 to 2024 fiscal year exceeded the 2018 to 2019 fiscal year, the year immediately prior to our 3-day telework policy. Further, the 2023 to 2024 fiscal year report shows 5 majority support petitions were filed, 2 labor peace agreement complaints were filed, and over 1,300 agricultural workers were given notice readings. Essentially, we've been busy. And through it all, we've managed to remotely collaborate very successfully with team members commonly hundreds of miles away to best serve the public. As protectors of workers' rights and leaders of our agency, we call on you to stand with our dedicated staff. We ask you to grant exceptions to simply maintain our current telework policy, which has been the status quo for the past 6 years. Such exceptions would show that staff and their rights are valued. Additionally, exceptions would also be consistent with paragraph 2 of Executive Order N-22-25 and our actual operational needs. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Genevieve Gallegos. I'm an attorney at the Salinas office, and I'm just completing my first year. It's been incredible. I work with very dedicated colleagues. We do notice readings, sometimes at 6 a.m. in the morning or 2 a.m. in the morning, because that's when it's not hot. That's when the workers are there. We go to clinics. We have 5 this month in June, and they're all over the state. And we go on the weekends, on Saturday and Sunday, and in the evenings, because that's when the workers are available. And we do worker interviews late into the night, because that's what's possible for the workers. So we meet the workers where they are. We treat them with respect and dignity. Because when we see the workers, we see our fathers, we see our mothers. My great-grandparents came from Chocron, Mexico over 100 years ago, and I know I've heard what it's like to be a migrant farm worker, living in tents. My parents worked in the fields, and our whole staff has the same dedication. And we see the workers, we see our families have that invaluable work ethic. So when we do our work, we do it with passion, we do it with love. And so when I saw the recent board message, it stated, in implementing the executive order, the ALRB will continue to operate a hybrid telework model, which includes various combinations of remote work and in-person engagement to meet business and operational needs. I thought you were meeting us where we are. I thought you were going to treat us with respect and dignity, and I thought you were going to value our work ethic. Many of us have children. We would like to pick up after school. Those years are very short. Many of us have elderly parents we want to take meals to or help clean. I drive 168 miles to go to Salinas twice a week, and I leave at 5:30. I get home at 7, and I do this happily. This is the most significant work I've ever had in my career. I love it. I've, for most of my career, I've worked with nonprofits, La Raza Centro Legal, Legal Aid, representing day laborers and domestic workers, in hearings, litigation. And in the last 9 years, I had the opportunity to work on investigations with the federal government. And I'm excited to bring my experience here. It's been just amazing. And everybody here at our ALRB is dedicated. Sorry, I'm getting a little nervous now, sorry. But we bring our, I'm sorry, let me just calm down. So I'm excited to bring the work, my experience here, and it's been, I think this agency does the most valuable work. We do the work for the most, or we represent, we bring charges on behalf of the most vulnerable workers. So I can't think of another state agency I'd rather work for. Every time I go to an LWDA, RSET meeting, they look at us as we are the experts. We are the experts of agricultural workers, of the work of agricultural workers. And when we talk to CBOs, they also praise us. They let us know, oh, you are the ones who bring the charges immediately. Other government agencies will take weeks, but we do it immediately. And we hold employers accountable. And so even the CBOs come and praise us. They let us know, oh, you know, we always want to work with you. The workers trust you and they relate to you. So I'm here today to ask you to meet us where we are, to value us, to treat us with respect and dignity, so we can sustain ourselves to continue this very important and difficult work. Thank you.
Good morning, board chair, members of the board, and general counsel. My name is Ghada Yassin. I have been an attorney at the Agricultural Labor Relations Board for 7 years. I endorse the statements of my colleagues and those of Genevieve and of Mr. David Sandoval, and emphasize to you as leaders of an agency which enforces collective bargaining rights for farm workers. Together, we urge the board chair and the general counsel to uphold the terms and bargaining unit 2's agreement. Even before the pandemic, 99% or more of ALRB charges are assigned to teams who work hundreds of miles apart in different areas throughout California. The workers we serve and the employers that we investigate are also located throughout the state. Charges are routinely assigned to staff who live hundreds of miles from the charging office, and the majority are completed with zero travel. We have proven that our investigations do not require an in-office presence, as the work we perform daily is inherently remote. Thus, the stated reasons for RTO, collaboration, and camaraderie are arbitrary, as the ALRB staff are required to collaborate remotely as an essential job function. Forcing ALRB staff to continue remote collaboration but from a state office serves no operational need and is just demoralizing. I further urge the board chair and the general counsel to use their discretion that is authorized in the governor's executive order and allow ALRB staff to continue teleworking 3 days per week. Thank you.
Yo con la santa lei ci dentro sta pubblicando santo, da secondo campo, Jamiti, Breti, Kansa, Niti, Neka, Sikansa, por trabajadores del campo, nosotros somos quien enforzamos sus derechos al alzar su voz en el campo. Ustedes tienen el derecho de pedir cambios y mejores condiciones en el trabajo sin temor a represalias. Hoy nos toca a nosotros y pedimos su apoyo. My name is Juan Bautista. I am the employee by the LRB as a compliance officer. In the past 7 years, I worked here. This agency has grown in staff. When I started here, we didn't have a dedicated outreach team. Now we have a very solid outreach team. We engage in all the communities. The agency has grown in staff. Now we have the RCEP program, the Rural Strategic Program, where we have hired 50 plus new people, up to 25 people. So we're hiring people out there. And our outreach has increased drastically. Our work has increased drastically. We're still engaging with the communities. We're still talking to the communities. We now have a Santa Maria office, as the GC pointed out. We've hired new staff. Now we have 3 indigenous speakers that includes myself that speak Mixteco or another Mixteco. As leaders of our agencies, you have noticed that we have been able to do all this work through all these 7 years without hiccups. We've been through a pandemic. We've had hearings. We've had remote hearings. We've had testimony. We've done investigations throughout the state. I am one of the 2 only compliance officers of this agency. We've covered the whole state. We've been able to do all of this under the 3-day telework policy and your leadership. As the leaders of our agency and protectors of our workers' rights, I strongly urge you to maintain our current telework flexibility. Such flexibility encourages productivity, morale, and abides by the executive order. My other coworkers here will be providing their own testimonies, and I know some of them will be submitting a written testimony for you. Thank you.
My name is Audrey Shaw. I've been working at the LRB for 9 years. I came here in solidarity with my colleagues to leave a comment about these ongoing negotiations that are taking place between the various unions in the state of California, which implicates the working conditions of ALRB staff. If it's one thing that I know about the people who work at the ALRB, it's that we are very passionate about the work that we do and we care deeply about the core mission of this department. In keeping with that mission, I would urge our leadership to hear out the concerns that have been raised by a number of our staff regarding this executive order. Thank you.
I'm gonna now turn to see Is there anyone else in the room that is not a board member wishing to make a public comment? Okay, I will, and my computer went to sleep, but I will ask our staff, is there anyone online who has indicated they wish to make a public comment? And if someone has not indicated they wish to make public comment, please indicate via the chat feature or the raise hand feature on the Zoom application that you do wish to make public comment.
Yes, Chair Hasid, I see 7 people raise their hand who want to make a public comment. I'm going to promote as panelists so they can make a comment.
Okay, please promote one at a time and call their name so
Yes,
we
please.
know so they know who's on deck, so to speak, to make comment.
Yes, I'm doing that now. Alexandra Riviere, can you hear me? Can you hear the room?
I can hear you. Yes, apologies. Good morning, everyone. And if you hear some slight shouting in the background, that is actually my almost 2-year-old who is homesick. So apologies for that. But that's actually part of why I'm here today. So I'm here to support exactly what my colleagues have laid out. With regard to telework and return to office, I came to the ALRB 5 months pregnant. And I am extremely grateful for the welcome I received here and the support I received. But part of what's kept me here beyond how much I love the work is I see parents thrive here, as working parents and as people and as professionals. And part of that has been the community, but also the flexibility that telework has provided to us. And I just want to say, to the extent that there's ability to maintain that here, I think it is extremely important, not just for me individually, but for other parents in the organization. And in addition, I will just express, I am always deeply concerned with how the ALRB moves forward. And part of that is hiring incredible talent to be here, answering worker calls, investigating charges. And I am deeply concerned that if we are going back to the office mandatory 4 days a week, that our ability to recruit and retain these incredibly talented attorneys is going to go down significantly, and fail examiners. That's all I have to say. Thank you for your time and attention and for my colleagues being present in the room today.
I'm promoting the next person now, Margarita Padilla. Can you hear us?
I believe I heard you, Satya. I don't know if I heard the person wishing to make a comment.
Yes, hi.
I can hear you now.
Can you hear me? Okay, so good morning, members of the board. My name is Margarita Padilla, and I am employed with the ALRB as an investigator for Region 2, Visalia Regional Office. And as leaders of our agency and protectors of workers' rights, I strongly urge that we maintain our current telework flexibility of the 3-day telework and 2-day in-office schedule. So our current structure, as we can prove today, is highly effective because our technology infrastructure, specifically MS Teams and Zoom and our Zoom configurations, is already optimized to support our seamless digital collaboration. This virtual adaptability is essential given the vast geographical footprint of Region 2, and which spans from India all the way to the Oregon border. Because our staff homes of records are naturally distributed across this immediate territory, a flexible hybrid model provides a distinct operational advantage. It allows us to strategically deploy team members to local outreach events to support the Rural Strategic Enforcement Program, RSEP, directly from their regional geographic areas, rather than forcing unnecessary centralized travel. Furthermore, a rigid full-time return presents several logistical, economic, and institutional challenges within our region. Currently in our Visalia office, we have infrastructure and parking constraints. Region two Visalia office has strict limit of 12 parking stalls, 2 of which are permanently occupied by our state vehicles, and then 9 currently for the staff members, the 9 staff members who are on staff in Visalia. We do have 2 vacancies, which when they will be filled will exhaust the amount of parking available. Our recruitment and retention, which my colleagues have already mentioned, we currently have vacancies pending to be filled in Visalia. But with the competitive labor market, offering this modern flexibility hybrid schedule is one of our strongest recruitment and retention tools. Forcing a full-time return to office cannot logistically accommodate the entire team, especially in the Visalia office. And we also risk losing seasoned investigators or or filling those positions with other competitive employment. Economic and environmental factors. Maintaining the 3-day telework policy heavily supports staff morale and work-life balance by mitigating rising fuel costs and that burden investigators commuting from long distances. Furthermore, by reducing unnecessarily daily vehicle miles traveled, our region directly aligns with the daily agency operations with California's broader environmental and carbon reduction mandates. Preserving this hybrid schedule ensures that we remain agile, economic resistant, and fully capable of serving our community effectively. Thank you for the time and consideration.
Thank you. And Satya, I believe we have a few more people.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm going to promote Naomi now.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Let me see if I could set up my audio. My camera. Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. So my name is Noemi Gregorio, also employed here at the ALRB in our Salinas office, working in the outreach department. And I'm also a proud SEIU Local 1000 member and a steward for DLC 741. And I'm also here today standing in solidarity with my colleagues and to urge you to reconsider the implementation of the 4-day return to office mandate and to encourage to increase this flexibility in how we implement the return to office. I want to echo all of the people that have shared a comment have touched on great points. And also, for the past 2 years I've been working at this agency, I have seen how a lot of the communication and interactions, collaborations that we do mostly do work and are done remotely. And then as a labor agency, we should be the leaders and should set a good example to the other state departments on how we wish to implement or continue with the 2-day in office, 3-day telework that has worked for the past 2 years that I've been here at this agency. And I also know that SEIU Local 1000 sent a message yesterday saying that the ALRB would not reconsider the RTO if it seems that it is causing negative impact on productivity, staffing, and morale. And I had to read that a couple of times because I wasn't sure if I was reading that correctly, but it does state that we gave a statement to the union that we will not redetermine the RTO mandate, even if it causes negative impact on productivity, staffing, and morale. We should care if the mandate has a negative impact on productivity, staffing, and morale. I think if we begin losing staff because the commute can just be extreme, I think even a 30-minute commute can cause financial hardship and mental hardship. And we should, and I think it would cause a disservice to the farm workers we serve, to our other staff members, and to the public if we lose staffing because of this 4-day mandate. I think a lot of the community is very familiar with who works at the ALRB. A lot of us are, the current staff are already knowledgeable and in the material and the processes and everything that goes on at the ALRB. And to start from scratch, to start from zero could be, it's a disservice to the public and to state dollars. And I just encourage us to do better, to think about the human capability of our staff, the humanity, and the taxpayer dollars. Thank you.
I'm going to promote the next person.
Okay.
Good morning. My name is Federico Guzman Nieto, and I have been employed by the ALRB as a field examiner for nearly 4 years. As the leaders of this agency and protectors of workers' rights, I strongly urge you to listen to the concerns we have as employees and to step up in support of our requests for better working conditions. Primarily, I request that you maintain our current telework flexibility because it encourages productivity, morale, and abides by the executive order. In addition, as my colleagues have shared, several offices have encountered important issues that present significant challenges for returning to office, but which appear to not have been considered. In the Salinas office, we are being required to go back and work in conditions that are problematic, and where attempts to address these issues fail to comply with our rights as workers. We look forward to seeing how the ALRB sets the example for being a place that supports its dedicated employees. Thank you.
Thank you. And Satya, are there any other staff members or any other members of the public as well who have indicated they wish to make public comment?
Yes, ma'am. There are 3 more people.
Okay.
Each one by one.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning. My name is Maria Watson, and I'm an attorney 1 at the ALRB Santa Rosa office. Telework flexibility allows me and my coworkers to give our full attention to our cases. RTO, however, threatens to pull our attention and energy away from our work to instead focus and worry about the limited office space, traffic conditions, and fuel costs. As leaders of our agency and protectors of workers' rights, I strongly urge you to maintain our current telework flexibility. Such flexibility encourages productivity, morale, and abides by the executive order. Thank you.
I'm promoting the next person, Faride Perez.
Good morning. My name is Farida Perez. I'm an attorney at the ALRB. I'm only about 3 months in, but I'm based out of Santa Rosa, and I reside over 50 miles away in Oakland, California. Prior to the ALRB, I worked as a reproductive justice attorney for the ACLU of Northern California. And before this, I worked at Root and Rebound, a reentry organization where my focus was to organize legal clinics in rural tribal communities. I'm here to support a telework policy that abides by the values that this agency sets out to enforce. Throughout my career, I have sought out opportunities where I can support the most vulnerable populations gain justice through the law and advocacy work. I have done this in a variety of ways through legal avenues such as amicus work in the California and U.S. Supreme Court, litigation, the state and federal legislature, and public education via media presentations and written publications. I have done all of this because I work in a remote environment. I came to work here because of the focus on supporting agricultural workers in a justice-centered and culturally sensitive manner. As such, I am hopeful that this translates to our staff who is supporting this work. While many of our clients face injustices, it is also true that many of our staff experience the same personal intersections in our work and our life. I reside in Oakland because I have a community here, but I also care deeply about the struggles that rural communities face, and in particular, the lack of services and diversity. Access to telework is a racial, disability, and gender issue. The economic impact of this push to work in office will affect the most vulnerable first. And if the mandate for office center work is enforced, economic and health repercussions will negatively impact families with childcare and elder care responsibilities, people with medical needs, and expand the need for that populations within our agency are already grappling with. I ask that you consider an alternative policy to an office-centered environment, which will allow for the sustainability of this work. And the work, I just have to say, has been incredibly meaningful to me, and I just hope that I'm able to continue this. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to promote the last person now. Jay Singh, I have promoted you as a panelist. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you.
Good morning. My name is Kenya Acevedo. I have been an attorney at the ALRB for the last 10 years. Today, I am speaking in my personal capacity as a case member and in solidarity with all the coworkers that spoke before me. Over the last 6 years, my coworkers and I have and continue to demonstrate that we do not need to be in the office 4 days per week to deliver exceptional services to farm workers and to Californians. Because we are a tiny agency with offices in remote rural areas, many of us have constructed our lives, selected our housing, made decisions about childcare and budgets around the flexibility of working from home. Forcing a rigid 4-day in-office mandates creates severe logistical and financial hardships without adding any operational value. Yesterday, SEIU Local 1000 reported that during the June 12th meet and confer with the ALRB stated that they will not revert the mandate, even if it is explicit order would negatively impact our productivity, staffing, and morale. For a tiny agency like ours, 10 or less people, any adverse impact on productivity, staffing, but especially morale, not just a blip. It is a significant, potentially devastating blow to our ability to function and be effective. Today, we are asking you, the board, and the leadership to stand up for us, to please advocate for our flexibility, to protect our staff morale, and to formally support continuing remote work for our team. We work hard and we deserve better. Thank you.
I believe those were the last 3 comments. Satya, is there anyone else who has indicated they wish to make public comment?
I don't see anyone else who wish to make public comment.
Okay. Let me know if that changes. I do want to take a moment to thank our staff that we have heard from online, as well as our staff who took the time to come here in person and present. As many of you noted, we administer an amazing law that protects workers and ensures that they have a right to address conditions at work. We have that same duty here, and while we have that right, I know it's not always easy to come forward, and so I really do appreciate everyone taking the time to raise these concerns to the board, and I take it as an indication that we've at least created a forum where people feel that they can do that, which is a culture that we try and promote as part of our mission, and also here as state employers. As a state employer, we do have duties under California law and regulation, and as well as under the executive order. We are charged with implementing the executive order as written. I understand that there is, in parallel, a collective bargaining process, and we respect that process, and we'll follow how those negotiations resolve in whatever is eventually an agreement or any addendum. So again, really thank you for sharing your concerns, sharing your experiences out in the different offices and in your different roles. It's very valuable for us to hear about it, and just really have gratitude for all the work that you do. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I believe I speak for my colleagues as well, who echo that. And I don't know if anyone else wishes to say anything.
I do. So, I'm very sympathetic to your position. But that comes with a sort of a caveat that's a little bit confusing for me. I'm not involved in this collective bargaining system for state employees is kind of a little weird compared to traditional collective bargaining in the private sector, because there's these agencies that are supposed to meet and confer, but really don't have the power to negotiate. There is a sort of the governor and the governor's direct people who do the negotiations. You're here, but the unions involved officially are not in the room. So it's kind of a ponderous process for everybody concerned. And we can't, there's that principle that we can't negotiate directly with you because your direct bypass, that would be bypassing the union. So, and I'm not trying to create obstacles to getting this done, but they exist. And they're kind of problematic in terms of trying to resolve this issue. We're a small agency left to our own devices without the outside world involved. We could probably resolve this thing, in my opinion, in about 5 minutes. But there are these issues. We have to respect them. We don't want to do what we are in that, thing with the physicians, like do no harm. So we've got to deal with that. And so, I don't even know what our ability is at this point as a board to deal with. I really don't understand that. I think I need to learn that, because obviously you're here, this is an issue. It's an issue for me personally. I understand this issue of family life balance. It's been an issue in my family for my entire working life. And now in this phase of my life, I have an elderly mother and I have grandchildren to take care of all at the same time. And we have people who are parents of young children on our board. I mean, we're all sort of, this is our lives, and it's all really right there for us. And we need to make it work for everybody, and we need to make it work for the people we serve. And there's nothing that you've said today that I actually disagree with or would argue with in any way. I think you're you're right in your concerns. And but how we resolve this is a little bit of a thicket. And I think we have to try to do that, but we also have to respect the process, which is what we do as an agency involved with regulating collective bargaining, is we're all about the process. So I don't want you to feel like what you're saying is falling on deaf ears or we don't care about it. I care about it a lot, and I think we all care about it a lot. So I don't know if that helps, but that's really my point of view about it, and I hope I would like to believe that my colleagues all share the same point of view. I mean, we're all in this together. So anyway, thanks for coming. Next time, maybe we can figure out how to set this up so that we're not doing this thing. And that the people who are testifying are not behind the people that they're testifying to. But we haven't really, in this new hybrid world of televised hearings, that's changed everything too. And nobody really, the public doesn't generally come to the physical location of our meetings. So, this was a little bit of an experiment in logistics that we probably need to work on. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
So maybe I'll just add a word.
Yeah, sure.
So I want to thank you and the folks at home that commented. I do think that I want to endorse what we've heard here, both about the process and about you guys are the heart. The staff is the heart of this organization throughout rural California, and we obviously need to listen very carefully and think about how to make sure that we're helping you do your job, because you're the interface. You're the people who make the law work for farm workers in California. And so we really want to join in. We all really appreciate what you do every day, all the outreach reports we get, all the settlements and the cases, the investigations. We sit here, all the information that flows to us comes through you, and it's really critical. So I just wanted to say that. And I do think that you've made I hope your points about the ALRB isn't the same as many other state departments and agencies. It has some unique features, and your work, you've made I think some good points about the uniqueness of what you do, where you do it, and how you do it. So I think I'm hoping that your points about how you work and what your jobs involve are absorbed and considered in this process, because I think it's we're not the same as I guess a typical state agency.
Any other comments?
I just want to thank everybody for coming and speaking. And I know it does take a lot of courage to speak up and do this. And I just want to acknowledge that and just express gratitude for everyone coming and sharing your important perspectives. So thank you to all online and in person. And appreciate, just echoing my colleagues, that we sincerely appreciate everything that you do. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and unless there has anyone else that has indicated they wish to make public comments, Satya?
No, Chair Hasid, I don't see anyone else who wants to make a public comment.
Okay, it is now 10:49 and the board will recess into closed session. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It is 12:55 p.m. and the board has returned from closed session. Our next agenda item is announcements. Our next board meeting is scheduled for July 8th at 10 a.m. here in Sacramento and online. And with that, I will now conclude and adjourn the board meeting. Thank you.